welcome to Romi TV Africa. This is Newspaper Review on Friday with me, your host, Reginah Samuel.
And I'm Emmanuel. Keep on following us at Romi TV Africa on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Hit that notification bell for more news updates. And we have some news making headlines. We just hope Kenya Power is not going to do the same thing they did to us yesterday. We were doing our shows here.
Yeah.
And the first stories is all about Kenya Power. Kenya Power restores electricity supply to parts of country after 3 hour blackouts. Kenya Power has restored electricity supply to parts of Western, South Nyanza, North Rift, Central Rift, and Nairobi after over 3 hour outage. The rest of the country is still in blackout. It says the cause of the system disturbance has been identified and technical team is working on restoration to the rest of the country.
For the better part of Thursday afternoon, parts of the country were hit with a blackout attributed to a system disturbance barely 3 weeks after a similar blackout left business counting losses. We have lost bulk power supply to various parts of the country due to a system disturbance, and we are working to restore normalcy within the shortest time possible, said Kenya Power in a statement on Thursday.
The firm said it will issue an update on the restoration progress in due course. The blackout follows the power outage that hit Nairobi, Mount Kenya, and coastal regions early this month, causing disruption of business. Kenya Power also attributed the blackout to a system disturbance. In December last year, part of transmission network connecting Lake Turkana wind power to Suswa collapsed, affecting evacuation of power from Marsabit. Well, seems like Kenya Power have a problem in restoring power at the moment. It said that they have found that there was a technical issues, and not every part of the country has received back its electricity. Do you think the Kenya Power Company needs competition so that we see the way forward?
Yeah, of course it needs competition, because we cannot be relying on one source of power. And it has reached to a point that they feel that the only people who can supply power to us. So I think when competition comes in, it will give them, like a force or an urge to be better than the other one. Yeah.
Well, and in other stories,
President Ruto is on a revenge mission. President William Ruto is on a revenge mission and witch hunt against individuals who did not back his August 9 presidential bid, opposition leaders claimed yesterday. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leaders cited the petitions against the 4 top officials of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission as an example of the Kenya Kwanza crackdown on institutions and individuals the regime thinks did not dance to its tune during the campaigns.
ODM leader Raila Odinga said IEBC Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera and Commissioners Francis Wanderi, Irene Masit, and Justus Nyang'anya are being targeted for expressing reservation over the process that led to the declaration of Dr. Ruto as president. Mr. Odinga said the outcome of the hearing is predetermined, with the 4 expected to appear before the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly. He said they will be found guilty and made to appear before a tribunal to be set by the president before being dismissed from electoral agency.
The mission of selective injustice is being steamrolled by the speakers of the National Assembly and the Senate and William Ruto, he told reporters. Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka said the process reeks of impunity and termed it as a persecution of the commissioners with the script already out. I don't like politically motivated things. The committee should believe in the rule of law, but it looks like our brothers want to take Kenyans back to the streets, Mr. Musyoka said.
Kenya Chief Martha Karua said the case against the 4 is witch hunt, designed to punish them for standing up for what is right. She instead asked President Ruto to form a panel to replace IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati and Commissioner Abdi Gulie and Boya Molu, whose terms are coming to an end. And I quote, "Time is up. Let's have a new commission. The witch hunt in Parliament is designed to stop the 4 from taking over," Ms. Karua said. She demanded to know why Mr. Chebukati, Professor Gulie, and Mr. Molu have not yet started terminal leave as required by the law. Ms. Karua accused them of insisting on presiding over the coming by-election in order to give us convoluted results as they did on August 9th. Mr. Odinga said President Ruto is taking the country back to a state of affairs last witnessed during the Daniel Arap Moi regime in 1980s. Well, what do you think about this?
First, I don't know why they have the haste to make sure that Mr. Wafula Chebukati and the other two are leaving the term.
Yeah.
Because they live at their own pace, they don't have to be rushed. And again, the case which is against the 4 ABC commissioners who are saying that they don't stand with the results of Mr. Wafula Chebukati, I don't know if it's politically motivated to file that petition, but again, it may be they were wrong on the other side. But again, I think maybe there was also some political movement that was made for them to stand against the results that were made. This is politics. It's a dirty game, so we cannot really understand who is right and who is wrong. Yeah, but if they're supposed to, if the case goes well, then it's up to them.
In other stories, doctored video clip cost RMS MediaMax 12.5 million shillings in defamation settlement with Kangata. Murang'a Governor Irungu Kangata has been paid a total of 12.5 million shillings by Royal Media Services and MediaMax Limited over stories published last year by outlets of the two media houses, which he said were defamatory. The two media houses published the articles on their website, and radio stations of Dr. Kangata, then serving as Murang'a senator.
Dr. Kangata, however, said the clips played the media houses on September 15th last year were maliciously corrupted and ended up lowering his reputation. He said he attempted to address the House from his car, but then Senate Speaker Ken Lusaka denied him the audience because of his location and asked him to physically present himself at the Senate and make his address. Dr. Kangata wanted to address the House over the plight of Murang'a's farmers.
Dr. Kangata said in the case filed before the Milimani Magistrate Court that the articles associated with him with morally reprehensible behavior. The two media houses had denied the claims and defended the publications, saying they were done in good faith, without malice, and not intended to injure Dr. Kangata's reputation. But the Murang'a County boss and the two media houses reached an out-of-court deal, and RMS agreed to pay Dr. Kangata 6 million shillings, while MediaMax paid him 6.5 million shillings.
Dr. Kangata claimed that the words which were picked by radio stations including Kameme were sensationally broadcast at the time when they were heightened political activities in a year before the general election. The governor said he is a churchgoer, a husband and father of 4 school-going children, and also a mentor and a moral beacon. The radio station further discussed the alleged transcript the following morning and invited callers who further scandalized Dr. Kangata.
He claimed he supplied the station with an unedited version of the transcript and urged the media houses to pull down the offending articles without success. And I quote, "Further enclosed is a consent letter in duplicate duly exercised on our part, marking this fully and finally settled with no orders as to cost. Reads a letter to November 7th. This is a story whereby we see the media houses of RMS, the Royal Media Services, and the MediaMax have been accused of defamation, whereby they spread the wrong information. Pay him they had to pay him 12.5 million shillings, so that to return everything in order, and they did not have to end up in court so that to solve the issue, but they just had to solve them out of court. Now, for your opinion, is it the right thing to do defamation on someone when that person once said that the information should not be published?
It's wrong because that is violating someone's rights and someone's will. So even them paying that 12.5 million was just to make sure that they clear the case, because it is against the law even. Yeah, because you cannot just give out information that is someone's without their consent. Yeah, and actually it's the wrong information.
Correct. Well, keep on talking to us at Romy TV Africa on YouTube, Instagram, and also on Twitter. Hit that notification bell for more news updates, and also comment down there and tell us what are your thoughts on today's news-making headlines, especially when we started with the situation whereby the former Prime Minister said that Dr. Ruto is just the current President, Dr. Ruto, is just doing this because of political issues. Now, let's go to our next story.
Ahmed Rashid, Kenya's untouchable police officer, falls. After what has been a reign of terror characterized by brutal execution of suspected criminals for over half a decade, one of Kenya's most controversial police officers, Ahmed Rashid, is finally said to have his day in court and charged with murder. Mr. Rashid, a sergeant attached to Pangani Police Station, has 4 years run one of the most untouchable and feared crack units in Kenya, accused of carrying out extrajudicial killings in Isile, Pangani and Mathare slums without any consequences.
Pangani 6, the infamous team of plainclothes police officers that he commands, is not only feared in the areas, if controlled by its streak of impunity, as the face of police brutality has grown so much across the world that global broadcaster BBC once sent a team to patrol with it. Those we profile, we have to get them alive or dead, he told the BBC after he shot to fame when a video of him shooting 2 unarmed teenagers who had surrendered and was lying down begging for his life went viral in 2017.
Yeah, despite the circumstances of the shooting, which happened in broad daylight with dozens of witnesses, a lack of political goodwill by the former government left Rashid to create one of the most feared reigns of terror by a police unit. This reign of terror may have finally made the beginning of its end after the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, Chairperson Anne Makori, today. Thus, they say that Mr. Rashid will be charged with murder of 2 of his suspected victims, Jamal Mohammed and Mohammed Dair Kiri.
The 2 were unarmed when they were fatally shot on March 31st, 2017, on suspicion of engaging in crime with an Eastleigh neighborhood. This is after Dair, who was a member of the superpower gang, posted a photo on Facebook wearing a police jacket alleged to belong to a slain officer, Abdi Aziz, who had been killed by gangsters. In the last 5 years, however, investigations into the killings had stalled, even though it was widely known that they had been killed by an officer based at the Pangani police station. Well, these issues of police unjustly killing people without no crime, and they later come out being innocent, because when we see this story, Ahmed Rashid was a Kenyan officer Kenyan police officer who ended up killing two ungunned people, and it said that they had no arm to attack them or to do anything, but the police officer ended up killing them on the spot. What do you think about this situation of police officers currently doing things that are not acceptable?
I think they should just be like sentenced like any other citizen, despite their qualifications and their line of career. Because if you see a police officer shooting people carelessly, it only means that this person is overusing his power, abusing his power. And for Ahmed Rashid, his downfall has come because he has to be sentenced because of murder. You cannot just randomly kill people just because you're a police officer. There's a protocol you should observe. There's a way of like dealing with these cases that is supposed to be done instead of just killing them.
Yeah.
No one has any right to shoot somebody without any like legal permission to do so. Yeah.
Yeah. In other stories, police are looking for 2 women accused of dragging a trader to death during a drinking spree in Kagio, Kirinyaga County. Family members found Samuel Irungu, 59, dead Thursday morning and reported the matter to the Kiamashiri police station. Relatives said Mr. Irungu had been seen in a bar on Wednesday night enjoying drinks with 2 young women. Mr. Irungu later bought takeaway beers and returned with the women to his house, where they continued merrymaking.
But the women allegedly dragged him and robbed him of an unknown amount of money and other property before they took off unnoticed. On Thursday morning, family members found the stark naked body of Mr. Irungu in his bed and his clothes on a table. Mr. Irungu's empty wallet was also found in the house, while his personal documents were strewn all over the floor. When we entered the house, we found bottles of beer on the table, clothes, and an empty wallet, said his brother Stephen Mwangi.
On checking in the bedroom, we saw Irungu lying dead and concluded that most likely he died after being dragged by the 2 ladies believed to be from Nairobi. The family asked the police to investigate the killing. The trader, who is well known in the area, likely died after his drinks were spiked, said Mwea West Sub-County Police Boss Wilson Koskei. We are pursuing the 2 ladies so that they can shed light on what happened to the trader, he said. The body was taken to Kibugi Funeral Home in Kutus for a post-mortem examination. Mr. Irungu's wife, Monica Wambui, said she was shocked when she learned of the death of her husband.
I'm still reeling in shock following what happened to my husband, says Mrs. Wambui, who was not at home when the incident took place. Residents claimed dragging cases were becoming common in the area. Such cases are rampant in the area and something urgent should be done to eradicate the vice, said Mr. Bernard Kibaiga.
In September, a Catholic nun lost 17,000 in the same town after she was dragged by 3 women. Wow. The same stories of fear men. After God, fear men. This is a story by fear women.
I know it was women.
It's women. Correct me there. Men, don't get angry at the moment. It's only women that you are going to fear. Don't fear the way you don't expect the way you're fearing. We just fear by the way they take us sometimes. At the moment, we see that there are cases of men being now over dragged by women, because we see currently we have just been talking about a man who was stolen, who lost his money 700,000 in a week just because of a woman, and now we see another story whereby 2 ladies dragged a man in his own house and ended up taking everything that this man owned, and the man now is dead. What do you think about the situation of women at the moment taking care of men irresponsibly?
That is not taking care of men
Irresponsibly.
I think it's just using their time well. It's using the men well.
How can you say that they're using the men well?
Because I think a real man should not be influenced by a woman to do something. Plus, you should be careful as a man. Like, a woman is not in any position at all cost to make you, like, empty you and make you poor at any cost, because in the name of love and merrymaking.
But you see at this point is that they dragged him. If this man could not have been dragged, I don't think they could have stolen the properties.
Then he should be wise. He was supposed to be wise and conscious. That's why above God you should fear women.
They think out loud, yeah? Because before they make the move, they think more than the men.
Yeah, true.
Well, take us to another story then.
Now, how we ended up on the streets of Nairobi, homeless and hapless. It has been 3 years on the streets It has been 3 years on the streets for Naomi since she escaped a near-death union. Her facial scars are a testament to years of emotional and physical violence at the hands of her abusive partner. The mother of one's decision to brave the cold pavements of Nairobi was made not after a mere scuffle, but as a response to a situation where the odds were stacked against her. For her, the harsh reality of being homeless doesn't hold a candle to the abuse she endured while living under the same roof with her spouse.
And I quote, "He would have killed me had I not run away," Naomi recollects. Before moving in with her husband, she worked as a waitress in a restaurant in Kangemi. However, she had to quit the job after the frequent accusation of infidelity. When she became fully dependent on him for finances, his physical attacks became more frequent and vicious. "He would come back home drunk and start beating me up for no reason," she says amid tears. "Some neighbors will try to stop him, but he told them not to interfere in our marital affairs." The last straw for the young mother was when her abusive husband almost hurt their one-old son.
"He came back home drunk as usual and switched off the lights before battering me. I pleaded with him that he was going to hurt the child, but he would just not stop," says Naomi. "He only left me alone after a number of neighbors forcibly removed him from our house." That was the day Naomi and her child abandoned their home for the streets. She explains that after the ordeal, she tried to secure a job but had no luck. It was during the thick of the COVID-19 crisis. At the onset of the coronavirus in 2020, the government introduced a number of measures to curb its spread. One of them was the closure of entertainment joints such as the one Naomi had been working at. Not too far away from where Naomi has set up a makeshift home sits Ruth, a mother of 3 who also fled her matrimonial home because of domestic violence. I quote, "I could not go back to my parents because I'm an orphan. There is no one there for me. After giving birth to my 3rd child, my husband almost killed me when he attacked me with a broken bottle. That is when I decided to flee," she says. There is an ordeal that many other women undergo. Stephen Zusa, a lawyer and human rights defender who has been working with the Streets family for more than a decade, says sexual and gender-based violence is one of the leading cases of homelessness.
Wow, gender-based violence. I hate gender-based violence for me. I really...
So now after fearing women, what do we do to men? We throw them away from the society.
Okay. Do you know, gender-based violence is not all about women mistreating the men mistreating the women.
But mostly we see it's men who beat up their wives.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Okay, I get it. But we can't say that. We have to say that at the moment, mostly these things happen when men are drunk.
Yeah.
Those drunkard men. Because when you see all those stories of Naomi and Ruth, it's all about the men who came home drunk and start mistreating them, beating them up, as if they are just... some things I just wonder myself.
Yeah.
When you are taking this lady, were you taking her to go and beat her up? Or were you taking her to go and stay with her? Because at the moment, relationship are just becoming a matter of beating your partner anyhow you want. You can just wake up in the morning, you just want to beat them and kill them.
Yeah.
What do you think about this situation of gender-based violence?
I think, is there a law against abusing someone physically?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think anyone caught doing this, especially these men, they're supposed to be tied up and beaten also, instead of even being sentenced.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be beaten thoroughly by canes to feel the pain also that these women are feeling. Because now, how can a family, your wife, and maybe even the kids, for the sake of kids, I think this thing should just stop. Because we see in the Middle East, in the middle of these conflicts, we see that it is the children who suffer more.
Yeah.
Because now it only leaves the woman hopeless. Now she ends up in the streets with the children without any shelter, any food, any clothing. Like there's no one to take care of them. And then you look for a job, you secure a job, you lack. So we find so many street children in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and women who even end up selling themselves. Yeah.
Well, through the pen of Miss Reginah, we are going to take a short break, and we will be back for more news updates. Keep on following us at Romy TV Africa on Twitter, Instagram, and make sure you subscribe to our channel and comment down there. Another story, Nairobi land rates to double from January next year. Property owners in Nairobi will from January next year pay up to double the current land rates when City Hall implements new charges based on the latest assets valuation. City Hall said new rates will be based on 0.115% of the current value of developed land according to the Nairobi City Finance Bill 2021. Which set the stage for costly levies. The new rates will apply to residential, commercial and agricultural plots within the capital city.
Further, for land not exceeding 0.1 hectares, a flat rate charge of 2,560 shillings will apply. But for land greater than 0.1 hectares and not exceeding 0.2 hectares, the owners will pay 3,200 shillings annually. On the other hand, for land greater than 0.2 hectares and not exceeding 0.4 hectares, a charge of 4,000 shillings will apply, and land exceeding 0.4 hectares will attract a rate of 4,800 shillings.
Exemptions will be taken. If the new rates are lower than the current rates, then the current rates will apply. But if the new rate is more than double the current rate, then only double the current rate will be levied. Is that a tongue twister?
Levied.
No, at the moment we're just talking about if the new rates are lowered than the current rates, then the current rates will apply. But if the new rates is double the current rates, then only double the current rates will be levied. Read the document by the Acting County Secretary Jairus Musumba. Currently, property owners pay land rates at 25% of the unimproved site value based on the 1980 valuation roll, which City Hall says has seen it lose on the appreciation of the plots.
Consequently, the county targets to at least double the rates collected in the last financial year as it looks at collecting about 6 billion shillings. City Hall is seeking to cash in on the sharp appreciation of land in Nairobi over the past 2 decades on an increased appetite for real estate deals. Land prices started rising in 2003 after former President Mwai Kibaki took over and improved investment after decades of a hostile business climate.
In the financial year that ended June 3rd, 2021, City Hall collected 2.76 billion shillings from land rates against the target of 5 billion shillings. City Hall is set to map its rateable properties through the implementation of the geographical information system-based valuation. This will see the number of rateable properties in Nairobi increase from the current 161,000 to about 300,000. Defaulters or the county government 120 billion shillings, with the national government the biggest defaulters with 150,000 properties paying land rates out of more than 1.5 million properties. Well, it seems that the land rates are going to be changing soon.
Yeah.
Seems they are going to increase from the current land rates that are here at the moment.
Yeah.
It seems life is going to be hard for those who are going to start now to buy lands, and maybe those who owning lands.
Yeah. It's a good deal. Yeah. Congratulations to Mr. Sakaja for the good job he's doing for the county.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay. In other stories, MPs picked him to help them anchor CDF in Constitution.
The process of entrenching the Constitution Development Fund in the country's laws went a step further after the National Assembly approved 8 MPs to sit on a joint ad hoc committee to amend the Constitution. The constitutional amendment will be undertaken through a parliamentary initiative as provided for in Article 256 of the Constitution.
Apart from the National Government Constituency Development Fund, the motion also seeks to have 3 other funds: National Government Affirmative Action Fund, Senate Oversight Fund, and Economic Stimulus and Empowerment Fund, anchored in the Constitution. The members of the committee are Ainabkoi MP Samuel Chepkonga, the co-chair, John Mbadi, nominated, Dr. Otiende Amolo Rarienda, Enkomas Mutuse Kibwezi West, Edward Muriu Gatanga, Catherine Wambilianga Bungoma.
I love you.
Catherine Wambilianga
It's a funny name.
Bungoma Women Rep, David Mboni Kitui Rural, and Kakai Bisau Kiminini. They will be joined by 9 senators to be approved by the Senate.
Matungula MP Stephen Mule and his Gichugu counterpart Robert Githinji, who drafted the motion, have been co-opted to the ad hoc committee. Noting the general debate in the House on the legislative proposal to amend the Constitution to entrench the 3 specialized funds, cognizant of the comments and views of the MPs during the general debate on the legislative proposal, his House resolves to establish a joint parliamentary committee. The motion reads. The name Wambilenga is funny to you.
Wow.
It's a funny name.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a funny name. Hallelujah. Okay. The Joint Parliamentary Committee will report to the National Assembly and the Senate within 90 days to enable the speakers of the 2 houses to make a decision and give direction on whether or not the legislative proposal will be published into a bill. The clerks of the 2 houses will provide secretariat services.
Oh, that's a good move.
Yeah.
We are proud of the parliamentary initiatives that they're taking.
For the CDF situation.
Yeah.
Another story is Azimio lawyer stage walkout as IBC4 dismiss hearing. Lawmakers allied to the Raila Odinga-led Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition and lawyer representing 4 commissioners of the electoral agency yesterday walked out on a House committee hearing a petition seeking the removal of the commissioners from the office, led by Minority Whip Junet Mohammed. Azimio lawmakers termed the hearing illegal, adding that it was being done hurriedly.
The National Assembly Justice and Legal Affairs Committee started hearing 4 petitions seeking the removal of Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera, and Commissioners Justice Nyang'aya, Irene Masit, and Francis Wanderi on grounds of violation of the Constitution and a breach of the oath. However, the hearing turned into a political duel, with Azimio MPs and their Kenya Kwanza rivals trading verbal barbs on the legality of the process.
Mr. Odinga, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and NARC Kenya's Martha Karua attended the hearing. The 3 later held a press briefing where they termed the hearing a revenge mission by President William Ruto and his allies. Well, we have just talked about these stories minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's all about the four IBC. There are 4 IBC members,
Yeah.
whereby it said that they are going to be dismissed from their office because of situations of the last time we remember they withdrew from the results that were
Yeah.
being announced,
Yeah.
and they said they are not part of the IBC that it's going to announce the results, and now they are being discharged from their office. What do you think? As the Azimio One Kenya coalition saying that it's a matter of political influence, or are they just trying to defend the four members?
Like I said before, we are not sure who is right on this point. We are not sure if the 4 commissioners were influenced by somebody to go against the results, and we are also not sure if whatever they stood against was true. It may be true that really the results were violated, but no one is sure about this, that the one themselves, the politicians themselves, do not do so. We cannot give a clear detail on what should be done. But again, on the other hand, they're saying that it is a revenge mission from President William Ruto, of which I think the president has no time for revenge. He said himself. So, and even if he was to do revenge, then it means the revenge he can do, it's a big revenge on a lot of people. So I don't think he has really time for the revenge of which and everyone was against him. So.
Turning our attention to internationals, whereby we start from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The M23 rebel group said Thursday that a ceasefire announced a day earlier, and I quote, doesn't really concern us, while calling for direct dialogue with Democratic Republic of Congo government. The M23 has seen the document on social media. There was nobody in the summit from M23, so it doesn't really concern us. Lawrence Kanyuka, political spokesman for the M23 March 23rd movement, said, normally, when there is a ceasefire, it is between the two warring sides, he added.
DRC President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwandan Foreign Minister Vincent Biruta attended a mini summit in the Angolan capital on Wednesday. At a media brief in Kinshasa on Thursday, Congolese Foreign Minister Christopher Litungula said tomorrow 6 p.m. the M23 must stop all its attacks.
M23 rebels had been dormant for years, but took up arms again late last year and have been seen from the start by Kinshasa as actively supported by Rwanda, which denies the charges. The rebel recently seized large portions of territory north of Goma, the provincial capital of DRC, Nord Kivu province. The Luanda mini-summit concluded with a deal on the cessation of hostilities in eastern DRC from Friday evening, followed by the withdrawal of M23 rebels from occupied zones and their withdrawal to their initial positions. Well, we have seen that there is a war going on in Congo at the moment, and everyone is trying as much as possible to bring peace between the M23 rebel and the government of Congo. Currently, it's said that the M23 rebels did not attend any meeting to see what they are going to do or to agree with the government of Congo. If it were you going to the government of Congo, what is the first thing that you might be telling them at the moment? Because people's lives are at danger, and the M23 rebels don't want to back down.
We have seen the foreign minister and the president, Tshisekedi, they're saying that the M23 rebels must stop. But again, you cannot just come and say it will just stop. You have to do something. So I think there's action that is supposed to be taken, because as much as they're delaying, as much as they're negotiating with these rebels, it's the lives of the people at stake. And them themselves, they are protected. They have security guards, they are armed. But what about the common mwananchi? So I think action should be taken immediately against these rebels.
Right. In Life and Style this Friday today,
Liz Jackson. Why I asked Foreign Affairs CS Alfred Mutua for his phone number. A few months ago, the name of Liz Jackson would not have meant much to a majority of Kenyans, but thanks to an incident that went viral, the 23-year-old is now getting used to getting side eyes or stares whenever she walks in a room. Okay. 15 seconds of fame took place at State House, where she was captured on video as the Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Cabinet Secretary, Alfred Mutua, gave the journalist his phone number. This moment almost broke the internet, with netizens giving wild interpretations. Nation Life and Style caught up with Liz for a candid conversation.
Well, we see that Liz Jackson, she's a 23-year-old lady. Project manager with a passion for journalism, and now at first, when I saw this lady, she was at the first time I saw her, she was at the inauguration of the current President William Ruto, whereby her videos went viral on Twitter. And now another where the second time where I saw her was when she was asking a question at the State House, and later I saw her being given phone number by the Foreign Affairs CS Alfred Mutua. This is a good move for her. It may be even an open door for her. She may even get the chance now to venture in the journalism sector. But most people think that it's a matter of relationship issues, because we all know that the Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua is single.
Very much single.
Yeah. So, do you think that it's a good move for her? For me, I think she might be doing a very good thing. Yeah?
I don't know what to say about that, but congratulations to you if your number was given. Yeah.
Well, in the last story today, we turn our into sports, whereby we're just going to touch it, but to talk about it is about history maker Ronaldo trees of Portugal in Ghana. Ghana's win. Last night we saw that Ghana lost 3-2 to Portugal, whereby Cristiano Ronaldo becomes a history maker by scoring a goal in each and every single World Cup he has attended, his 5th World Cup. And now you get this more information through our sports arena host, Erico, coming shortly. Okay, we have come to the end of our sports. We have come to the end of our news bulletin this morning. Wow, today is going to be a busy day for me. We have come to the end of our news briefing and newspaper review on Friday. I was your host, Emmanuel Onyango.
And I, Reginah Samuel, thank you for being with us. Make sure you follow us at all our social media platforms. See you on Monday. Have a lovely weekend.
Today seems I'm going to follow.